welcome to the Astro Tarot channel for April 2014. My name is Tiffany Crosara and I hope you can see me okay. I thought I'd do things a bit differently because it really feels as if it's all about stepping out of the box at the moment, giving yourself that fresh energy around going, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do things a bit differently, if not a lot differently. April seems like it's going to be a shocking month. So it feels like really being pushed out of our habits, out of our little things that are maybe keeping us limited or keeping us small. And I don't think the process is just about April. It feels to me as if this was really starting to happen last month. And now we're really starting to see those changes kind of pick up pace, get faster, get faster, get faster. We're in a time of Aries. And even though we've got quite a few retrograde planets, I feel personally that is causing frustration rather than delays or blocks, although delays and blocks can cause frustration. It feels to me like, whereas before this year, it feels like to me that we've been stepping backwards and going into ourselves and going, oh, I just can't do anything. Every time I go out there, I have to come back in again. Now it feels to me as if what's happening is a case of like, I've had enough, and you know, this is changing, and this is changing now. I am not dragging my heels any longer. So it feels to me as if everything's being shaken up to do things differently. Hence, I am also getting out of the box and doing things differently, showing you the other part of my room in Cornwall, trying to have some fairy glen kind of energy going on. But I don't know if you can see me, so I'll probably just do my normal thing of running up and saying hello properly. Not only is that different, but red and green should never be seen, as they say. I'm wearing my hair differently, and it's a posh top with tie-dye jeans. Like I said, get out of the box. And I've had so many songs in my head that the last few days when I've been doing readings, I've really had to kind of watch that I don't sing at my clients because as a friend said to me the other day, like, yeah, you haven't really been blessed with the singing voice, have you? I was like, oh, thank you very much. And they were like, well, you can't have it all, Tiffany. Although there is one song I can sing, and that is Strong by London Grammar. So I love that song, and not just because it makes me sound good. I actually love that song. And come to think of it, that feels like a message as well. Strong. It really feels like we're being called on to develop our strength this month, and we get frustrated at the beginning of the month by the looks of things, but by the end of the month, when all that Aries energy goes into Taurus, we seem to be calming down and developing the strength rather than the frustration. Now, we also need the strength to actually look at what's going on for ourselves and what we can do to change things, because there are a lot of blocks and frustrations on the outside. It may feel like you don't have a lot of choice, but it feels to me as if the universe is kind of saying, well, it's time for us to look totally at self-responsibility and totally at what we can do for ourselves and empower ourselves. It's all about self-responsibility, and although that might sound a little bit boring, it's actually fantastic when it comes down to it, because it really puts the key on your own self-nurture, and that's the key to everything. You know, if you're not nurturing of the self, then your whole life just becomes one trail of destruction. So that's the lesson behind this month as far as I can see, and we'll start with the first week. I'll come running up to you now. Okay, so the first week in April, what do we have going on? We have the Sun conjunct Uranus at the time we start April. We also have a new moon, I think it's in Aries, on the 30th of March. So we've got quite strong, explosive get out of the box, rebellious kind of energy that we're starting with the first week in April. And what you have here shows that, yeah, it feels like we've got this kind of, I know what I want to create and I'm going to create it. Thank you very much. This is my territory, standing our ground, really kind of standing up for what we want and what we believe in. Although, just remind yourself that, because the will and the ego can get very strong during the time of Aries, so just remember to remind yourself that it's not all down to you, you know. You are a co-creator, you are part of the divine, and you've got the guidance card here, which is the Three of Pentacles. So it's saying that you actually do need others, even though I've just been talking about self-responsibility. But if we look at this, it's about guidance, yeah? So it's about being aware that we might not know who or what is best for us, and being open to the guidance. So you might just be saying, this is how I want things, but it's important to just remember to say to the universe, well, you know, this is what I would like, but be humble enough to say, and I'm leaving the door open because I know that I know nothing. Okay, so that's the first week in April. Oh, and the saying that keeps coming up for that one, which I have to say, is if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. The first week of April feels very, very dramatic and hot-headed. And it may well be that there is things here about breathing deep, doing meditation practices, everything that you feel is your tool, your bag to kind of help you deal with those kind of full-on energies. It feels like that really is the time to employ it. Second week in April, just trying to remember what is going on. I'm not sure if I can remember astrology wise, but what you've got here again is like, yep, see, I'm on my path and I'm looking after myself. This is fabulous. So we are getting strong sense of self and purpose, which is really, really good. We just got to remember to balance it somehow. So this is brilliant. This is showing, you know, a sense of you not relying on others, relying on guidance and what feels right, but not relying on others blindly, not ignoring your intuition and then getting angry when it's not turned out the way that you want it, that type of thing, taking full responsibility to actually kind of make it happen. It feels very busy the first couple of weeks, very loud, lots and lots of talking, very, very busy. And it feels like, you know, there could well be a lot of rows, a lot of arguments, a lot of breakups, a lot of fallouts. Don't be scared of change. That's the thing, because it just feels like there's a load of stuff happening now. And, you know, we've wanted stuff to happen because it's just been feeling quite slow and quite blocked. So there is this sense of huge change and limits and restrictions kind of, you know, just breaking out of them and breaking out of them. And it might seem very, very dramatic and it could seem very upsetting, but it's a storm in a teacup, really. Well, at least for us on the micro. I mean, with world politics, world affairs, things like that, you know, there could well be larger and more lasting effects, of course. So it doesn't feel like a very peaceful time. It feels like a very active time, a time where things are really coming up to be looked at. Things aren't being repressed anymore. Things are being spoken about. Things that are taboo, things that are like elephants in the room, things that we are afraid to talk about, things that we cover over. All of those things are just going really into a place of, no, it's time to get it out there and talk about it. And actually, that is just amazing, because I feel the problem with life is when we're in a place of fearing our fears, and actually when we're in a place of facing them, that's what it's all about. The strength that comes from that is incredible, and we all need to be strong. We need to be strong for ourselves, for each other, and for the world. So actually, this feels to me like, challenging though it might be, strengthening it is. Okay. Third week in April, I was nearly saying August. See, I'm moving that fast. We have an eclipse, don't we? We have a full moon eclipse. And I'm just trying to remember the date. I think I'm going to have to look at my notes. Please do excuse me a moment, because I think it's very important, so I really mustn't get this one. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so the reason why we were seeing so many things changing and so much talk about things that we maybe wouldn't dare talk about is because Pluto is going retrograde on the 15th, and Pluto is the planet of how can we say, it's transformation, but it does that by going really deep, going right deep down into all the things, all the shadow side, all the things people don't want to talk about, all the taboo-ness. So that is going on with a full moon eclipse in Libra. Now, Libra's going through a hard time at the moment. It's got Mars going on in there, and Libra doesn't like confrontation. It's probably the sign that is gonna least like this month, being its opposite sign. And you know, Mars is the ruler of Aries, and it's an Aries month, and Mars is in Libra, and Libra is peace loving. It doesn't like all the drama, it doesn't like confrontation, and so with this and Pluto going retrograde at the time of the lunar eclipse in Libra, it feels to me as if you know, there is no escaping doing the necessary talk, and things may well just suddenly come up out of the blue over the 15th. Revelations, shocking revelations, family secrets, affairs, world affairs, you know, things to do with scandal, all of those types of things. You know, talks about things hotting up in the Ukraine or Syria or Egypt, or you know, other war things that are on our mind. All of those things are really being, you know, really there's some massive type of spotlight on how things are having to shift and how things are having to change and having to face the truth, which is very challenging for Libra. So not only that, but we have a cardinal grand cross a couple of days later, which involves Aries, Libra, Cancer and Capricorn, but it will affect everybody. So it's just checking this lighting. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, so the cardinal grand cross, it affects everybody, and it's just like a mass tension, and it's the most strongest, most challenging aspect you can have, but it is the most strengthening, as I've said as well. So it really feels like there's a lot of positivity to come out of this month if we go into it with the right frame of mind. So yes, second, third week in April, tensions mounting and things coming to the surface. So you kind of have that pictured here. You see the moon as well there, and all this kind of secrets and betrayal and all of the things that are not right, the mistruths in the world, the injustice, all of that kind of seeping forward. And then it's quite interesting, these two cards, because they look like the same person to me, like going in the same shape, like the Three of Wands looks like the arrowhead. It feels to me here that there's a sense of reactions to this that we might need to watch. A sense of, right, I've had it. This card here is the intensity card, and it's the Knight of Wands. He runs off. He just goes off travelling, just like this man in the Three of Wands is looking like doing. It's like, right, I've had enough. I'm packing my bags. I'm gone. And I'm going to change my name. And I want to live where nobody knows me. I'm going to start afresh all over again. But do you really need to go to such dramatics? Or do you just need to change something within yourself to kind of start afresh? So be careful for over dramatic reactions. They happen on full moons anyway, let alone all the other tensions we've got going on in the universe. So, end of April, we have the sun moving into Taurus, we have Mercury moving into Taurus, we have another eclipse, a new moon partial eclipse in Taurus. So there's lots here to do with getting grounded. Now, Aries and Taurus are both very strong-minded, can be quite hot-headed individuals, although Aries is more impulsive and Taurus is more slow to anger and, slow to do anything really, slow to act in any way, very careful, practical, grounded kind of energy. So it feels like we end the month getting to that place, which is fabulous. And what you've got here is the Lovers, which is ruled by Mercury. So it feels to me like this shift of Mercury in Taurus, which is the planet of communication, is a very good thing, that our communication becomes much more loving. Taurus is, it's ruled by Venus, as is Libra. And we've also had Venus move into Pisces. So really, there does seem to be a kind of intention of wanting the love, wanting the loving connection, wanting the loving communication. There's been a lot of frustration, yes, but I do feel that the intentions are good. And it feels to me, as long as you have a good intention this month, everything feels to me like it'll be beneficial. I do feel it's very important to have an intention this month. Otherwise, you could just be dragged into the drama, into the fireworks, so really get very clear about what is your intention, and really keep that very clear for you this month. You've got the Three of Cups there as well, which is interesting. The Lovers in the Three of Cups often does denote things around affairs. So this, again, does show that there may well be changes in relationships, and there may well be things coming up to the surface and things being talked about. But here, there is a sense of the talk being much more harmonious. It's about a third energy in relationships. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a lover. It could be things about talking about children, or talking about creating something together, so taking on an extra thing. So what you've got here, funnily enough, change. So as I said before, last month as well, I think I ended the Astro Tarot channel by saying, change is being shouted at us. And I think it may have even been the very last card last month as well. I personally felt a heck of a lot of change going on inside of me last month, and I really felt it very strongly outside of me as well. It really feels as if there is a lot going on, and I'm actually feeling okay. I've been feeling very angry, and I've been going down the gym sometimes twice a day, taken up a combat class, and I've been actually finding that that's helping me a lot. I'm feeling much more energetic rather than frustrated. So just remember to channel that energy wisely. Yeah, it's very much like a fireworks display this month. We have to make sure that we're wearing the right clothes, so the self-nurture, the self-responsibility, that we're standing far enough back to spectate, and we're not rushing into the display like a hot-headed ram might do, particularly if they're startled. So being well prepared may well be the key for being able to get the most strength and amusement out of the month. Let's just look at the general quickly. So you've got the King of Cups here. Again, saying, ooh, I'm trying to find it so that you can see it clearly. Okay, I think that's better. So again, this is saying self-nurture, self-love. At the end of the day, even if everything's really challenging, especially if everything is really challenging, then this really needs to come into play. An old boyfriend of mine said that I used to get really angry over the most stupidest things, but when the big things hit the fan, I was calm as a cucumber. No, that's cool, isn't it? I'm definitely not cool. Anyway, so this is something about you learning about how you cope with the little things and the big things in life. And I actually feel like the more that there is going on, the kind of easier it gets for me to be okay. And I was saying this to my husband last night, actually. I was saying, you know what? I'm actually really starting to feel like the most emotionally fulfilled on the inside than I've ever done. And this has been after a really challenging week, if not a really challenging month. And I was just like, yeah, no, you know what? I'm just feeling really self-contained. I'm feeling like I don't really need anything from anyone. I'm feeling able to really look at my stuff and take responsibility for it and change whatever needs to be changed. And I'm feeling kind of really amazed, really great about that. And I guess that is the positive side of going through a lot of stuff. Now, as soon as I said that, I looked at him and I said, I'm feeling stressed, or said I'm feeling stressed and already just from saying that. And he said, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I've said it now, haven't I? I've kind of put it out there to the universe. And you know what it's like. It's just going to be like, right, okay, so you're saying that you've achieved that level now. Next level. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I've only been here a day. Can I just chill out for a little bit longer? I mean, I'm not saying that I've done enough growing. I mean, that does happen. Sometimes I have clients that say they've done enough. And it's like, right, okay, well, if you've done enough, then what are you still doing here on the planet? So I'm not saying like I've done enough and I just want to sit on the planet and do nothing. But can I just stay here longer than a day, please? So it's funny, isn't it? That thing about being careful what you put out there to the universe. On one hand, I was saying I'm feeling stronger than I've ever done. I'm feeling more emotionally contented than I've ever done. And as soon as I put it out there, whack, I was like, oh my God, what have I just done? And there was an awareness that that was like an invocation for the next level. So, but like I said, April is very much about strengthening, growing to the next level and the next amount of strength. So this emotional fulfillment is very much behind everything we've been speaking about. And here, this page of coins is like the Taurus energy, the grounding, the nurturing, the coming back to basics, being practical, and keeping a strong intention about what it is that you are about, what your purpose is, and what it is that you wish to create, rather than getting pulled into the destruction. And the final card is the Mind, which is actually another court card too, actually. It's the Knight of Swords, which is really, it's like a warrior, and he's there with his sword, and he's going fast on his horse, and he's charging in. But look what that does to you. Oh, bring it over. The Mind. Basically, he ran in to the fireworks display, didn't he? So, yeah, watch the chatter in the mind. It does feel as if it is very strong this month. Like I said, particularly the first 2 weeks, feels like it's very noisy. A lot going on. I don't feel it's going to be that easy to meditate. breathing deep and slow may well help, but it may well be a case of you know, really kind of being a firework in yourself and making sure that you let off yourself in the most safe way. So for me, it's combat training at the moment. What is it for you? Okay. And I hope to see you in May. Yeah, I hope to see you on the other side of this revolutionary change that seems to be going on this April. And whatever you do, just remember that this too shall pass, and this type of stuff is what memories are made of, as is what characters are made of too. All right, blessings to you. Have a great month, and I will see you in May.